All right, we finally filled up the suitcase, and we've got a bunch of clothes and random stuff, and also a box about this size full of kids' books. All right, and I'm back. It's been a couple weeks, I think. I think I speak for a lot of parents when I say Christmas is coming and we gotta chuck the whole house out to make way for the Christmas presents, the inevitable flood. I'm really hoping to keep it under control this year. Last year was actually okay. I wasn't too overwhelmed last year. Alex and I did a good job, I think, of keeping it reasonable. There's always like outside influences you can't control, and usually it's not any one thing. Our relatives are really, really great about listening to, what our kids are kind of wanting and trying to keep it reasonable, and they're very gracious about that. So we're very blessed in that way. But I'm seeing such a huge number of videos right now on YouTube in the minimalist realm of get rid of the stuff, get rid of the toys, clean out your kids' rooms, clean out the closets, because we got to make way. It's the yearly purge for Christmas. So my kids' ages are, I have 4, 7.5, and under. So when I was first making these videos a few years ago in like 2020, I think is when I started. I might have had only two when I started, and a pregnancy. But because of their ages at that point, it was like 4 and under. It was really easy to control, and it was really easy to get rid of things. So a lot has changed, and that's just one of those parts of parenting. Like, things change and you have to adapt and restructure. And it's just harder now because like my son, he just wants different things than he used to. He notices when things go missing. I have to be more respectful of his desires to keep his stuff, but we also want to have like our rules about our house and our family culture and all of that. So it's more of a challenge than it used to be. We had a really big talk with him about a week ago, and I was so proud of him because he just decided he wanted to get rid of a good deal of his things. And I'm not going to say it was unprompted. It was pretty prompted, but it was definitely his decision. And probably like 50% of it is going into quarantine. So we assured him we would not be getting rid of it yet, but we don't feel like he truly wants it or needs it. So it's on his radar to be, now that we've cleaned out his room completely, it looks beautiful, so little in there, and really only the things that he truly loves. I'm hoping that he's gonna hang on to that feeling of a clean room and easy to clean up, and just having the things in there that he really loves playing with and having, and that he's not gonna miss anything. So far, he's been very happy. He's the one I mentioned in my previous video. He's very sentimental, and he was one of my biggest kind of hang-ups with getting stuff taken care of in the house, because he wants to hang on to everything. So this was a total, like, a heart change for him. And he just decided, which was very surprising, to just trust us with going through his things. And we got rid of a lot of things that, like, kind of things that were a given, like, a Happy Meal type toys that he would just get at the thrift stores and stuff like that. There were things that we got rid of, and things that we're holding on to just in case he still thinks of them in a few months and still wants them. And he didn't have a ton to begin with, but he had a lot of clutter because he has Connects and Lego, so it's like millions of little things. So everything in his room is great now. Here's my strategy. This is what I decided to do, and I think it's working pretty well. I told each of my children to make a list of their toys that they loved, that were important to them. They were not allowed to look in their room or their closets. They weren't allowed to look through things. I just wanted them fresh in their heads to make a list of the most important things to them. I didn't say I was getting rid of everything else. I just said, make your list, and I will be sure to keep those things that are important to you. The reason this was a great idea for us and worked really well, and is still, like, we're still doing it, they don't get to just rifle through all the things that they own in their closets. they are going to think right away of the things that are most important to them. And, you know, throughout the day, they thought of more things, and that's fine. There was no panic because it wasn't like I'm getting rid of everything else, and if you can't remember it, it's gone. There was no panic or anything. It wasn't like a power play. It was really like, it was the opposite of that. It was me telling them like, hey, we'll make sure to keep these things that are important to you guys. I had to help 2 of them because only my oldest can read and write. But it's worked really well. They thought of things that I honestly, a lot of them were things that I was not surprised about, but some of them I was surprised. So I'm glad that I heard the things that were important to them, because I didn't want to be caught off guard and get rid of some things that for some reason, because kids have different ideas of what's a good toy sometimes and what's not. This has worked really well for us. I think it worked great because, like I said, I was surprised at some of the things they said. And now I have the freedom to go through. With my 7-year-old, it's kind of a done deal. We basically did all of his stuff, which is the biggest problem, because he is older than I have my 5 and unders, and they're all in the same room because they're all girls. So I'm going to go through at my own discretion because they're of an age where I can do that still. And I'm just going to keep the things that are very, very important to them. And now I know what those things are. And I think it's going to be a lot easier to go through. And it's kind of a big weight off my mind. And I'm thinking about doing it for myself, because if I can't think of things like in my bedroom or in the kitchen, I don't know. Part of me is like, do I really need those things? Anyway, I think it would probably work better for sentimental versus something else. Part of me wishes someone would just go through it for me like I'm doing for my kids. I think that would take care of a lot of problems, but nobody's gonna do that. You know, it's kind of like the classic, what would you grab out of your house if there was a fire? But I feel like it's just less stressful. Like if you just sat down, don't minimalize, don't do anything else, don't clean, don't declutter, just write down in a single room, what would you grab in a bag? I don't know. I might do it. I wish someone else would do it too and let me know how it goes. But do it with your kids, try it out and see, especially if they're at that age when it would be kind of appropriate. If they can make their own lists, it's good too. My son at first did just write everything. He wrote the word everything. He said except one thing that was broken, and he felt like that was being generous. So I was really surprised we were able to kind of turn the whole thing around. There was one toy, so he loves Connects, but we also have these little mini Connects that were super fun to build. He built this big roller coaster with Alex, and it was really fun, but they've kind of just been the bane of our existence ever since, because you can play with them, but they just get everywhere, and they're not really cooler than the big Connects. It's just tiny little millions of pieces. So he didn't really want to give those up, but he also didn't really want them, so we offered to pay for them. So we gave him, I wanted to be generous because he had done an incredible job in his room, and it was so worth it to me to get stuff out. So I gave him $8.50 for his Connects. I don't even care if we sell them or not. We got them out, and we, you know, it's like one of those, we got it done. So anyway, try it with your kids, and please let me know how it goes. I would like to know if this is an effective system, or if it was just a good idea for my children. But I am going to be moving on to the girls' room next, which is where most of the toys are. It's like the family toys, because I have 3 girls. Stuffies is a great example because my 5 and 3-year-old love Stuffies. If I got our entire tote out and was like, hey, which ones do you want to get rid of? They would feel like I was murdering family members. They would be horrified, and that would not work.
So when I actually asked them, not based off of emotional visuals, they were able to kind of remember what they actually cared about and hone in on that instead of just focusing on putting attachment to every single stuffy that they have, because that's obviously what they would be doing. All right, everyone, that's all I have for today. I hope this was helpful for you, and I hope that you have much luck with your decluttering endeavors as the holidays approach. I hope that everyone has a wonderful Merry Christmas. And if you try this method, please let me know if it works. I hope all of you will like and subscribe, follow along on our sister journey and how we are maintaining / updating our minimalist lifestyles.